The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios. I am Shanky McStabber, returned as storyteller for Kansas City, A Domain Divided.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I'll be playing Dr. Katerina Rakosi of Clan Zamitsi.
I am Jen of Thieves, and I will be playing Sunday Booth of the Clan Hakata.
I'm Marie, and I'll be playing Rashad Giovanni of the Hakata.
I'm House. I play Bo Solomon, Clan Toreador.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'm playing Gwen Schultz of the Ministry.
And hello, I'm Maddox, and I'll be guesting as Vladimir Milosevic of the Shadow Lords.
First off, welcome to Season 4, and welcome our newest player here, Sunday Booth. Jen of Thieves is playing our other Hakata of the group. I believe she's a bit different than Rashad, and we'll have to find that out. I know it's been a while since we did this. We had to do our Queen's Gambit. So, in summary, at the end of last season, Rashad's law office got burnt to the ground. All of his employees were killed, except for one who is missing. Nobody still has found out where she went. And then Bo took a trip with his brother Grant to go say goodbye to their father. Now, as we're opening up tonight, this is actually going to happen 2 days after Bo took his trip, because that's how long Bo was gone, for 2 nights. He arrived at the start of the 3rd. Back to tell the coterie, hey, I'm back and to gather. Well, I assume in your coterie haven. And I'm going to turn it over to the scene as the group has gathered so that Bo can relay what happened between him and Grant.
Everyone here?
Everyone's here. Even Callum's here.
Oh, but that was Bo asking.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you didn't miss me too much.
I mean, you didn't really tell us much.
I really couldn't. Otherwise, I would have been vaporized.
Oh.
And I mean that literally.
So what happened?
Well, I ran into my brother at the park. Essentially kindly strong-armed me into going with him.
By threatening to vaporize you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd say that's coercion. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he promised that as long as I didn't try anything funny, I'd be safe. And he took me to see my father. Along the way, he knocked me out with what I assume is the same cocktail that was used on you, Gwen, when you were taken. So I have no idea where this place is. But I woke up, empty room, just a bed, no windows. My guess is it was some sort of SI medical facility. I mean, it smelled like disinfectant, felt very sterile. And he was there, took me to see my father. He was chained up, hanging from the ceiling. And the best I can describe it is that they had been experimenting on him. Tubes were in him. Blood was going in and out. He couldn't talk. I mean, they were just keeping him on the cusp of torpor. I mean, he was pretty much dead. But, my sweet brother gave me the opportunity to say goodbye.
So is he dead now?
Yeah, he set my father on fire.
In front of you?
Yeah.
Quite the gift.
How did he set him on fire?
Storyteller?
Flame shot from the ceiling onto the chained body of your father.
The room was more or less a crematorium.
Oh. Quaint.
I was able to get a piece of equipment that I assume was used on him, use some of my sight. And it was good information, but essentially it feels like they were just using him as a test dummy on different concoctions, drugs, whatnot, trying to get his blood.
See what works, see what doesn't.
I mean, he also was used as a lure for you.
Yeah.
They could have tested on anyone.
What did they do to you?
I have no sense that anything was done to me. I have reason to believe that Grant was telling the truth, that I was, besides being knocked out, I was untouched. Storyteller?
Yeah. There's no evidence, no wounds that you had to heal afterwards, like anything was stuck in you, nothing.
While it's certainly possible I just don't remember anything, it doesn't feel like I'm missing memory either. So against my better judgment, I believe Grant was telling the truth. I don't think, outside of what was done to hide the place's location, that I was touched. I think he just wanted me to see our father before he was set ablaze.
You deliver a message to the rest of us.
I mean, he has a lot of firepower, both literally and figuratively.
And he just did this out of the kindness of his heart.
I mean, when I first met him, he claimed to have been protecting us.
I have reason to suspect he is for his own ends.
Oh, certainly.
We are basically helping him in a way by dealing with the Sabbat.
It sounds like if to whatever degree he's telling the truth, it sounds like there's stuff on par with what happened with your firm, Rashad, that could have happened that didn't, because of his intervention.
Well, you had the not Rashad's going around, and those were stopped pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
So
would...
what about the not Gwens that ravaged the city?
Yeah, that we kind of took care of, but...
After a while.
Yeah.
He really didn't give an opportunity for me to ask questions. It was pretty much woke up, see dad, conflagration, see ya.
I've been paying attention, not just to what the Sabbat are doing, but also to the responses that the SI are doing. I think one of the Sabbat is informing them.
How certain are you?
The response times to some of the Sabbat actions have been incredibly fast. Like, no government organization responds that fucking fast. Unless they have an informant that already knows what's going down.
Didn't Manuel suggest that there was a spy amongst our midst too? He meant for the Sabbat, but
it might be
it
for
makes
the
sense.
SI. Oh, I wouldn't doubt that one of them on this side is also informing them.
It's possible. From what I know about this governmental branch, they all a threat for the entire family. I assume they should be able to purge the city of people of our age relatively easily if they wanted to, so I don't know why they would need spies.
They don't want to kill us too quickly. They have to experiment first.
She looks to Bo and says, yeah, your brother wants to study us. They were using your father like that, to study, to learn what works and what doesn't.
Right.
Your brother is threatening us.
Oh, yeah. No, he's a grade A dick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monster.
The irony is he thinks he's hunting monsters, but
He is one.
he was before he turned, but
Yeah, it just made him more, as it does to all of us.
Seems we are repeating the Anarch revolt, so we may need to continue.
Go ahead. I will say at the very least, he has lived up to what he said. There may be withholding of truth, but so far there has not been any outright lying. So any further communication with Grant, if he says he's going to do something, I would be surprised if there's much deceit behind it. Maybe again, withholding of truth, but if he says he's going to do something, it would surprise me if he didn't at least attempt to follow through with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we know something about him.
Mm-hmm.
Did he...
It
Go ahead, Rashad.
might be time to consider a truce between us and the Sabbat if we can arrange it. As much as I find them detestable, this SI is a threat to all of us, and the longer we fight each other, the more resources they gain to use against us. It won't be long until they've understood how the blood works and how our gifts function.
Please, Gwen.
I'd like to say I agree, but there's been the issues with what's happening when trying to turn people, and the Sabbat haven't wanted to work with us to fix that. Why would they care about this? It's just making us fight a war on two fronts in their minds.
And similarly with the SI, where we're dealing with someone with a familial axe to grind, we have the same on the other side of our conflict.
Would you like to hear from someone who's actually been on the other side?
Please.
I can tell you, Sabbat controlled this area for a while. The Camarilla has come in and has started taking turf from them. Because with folks going east and, their shenanigans just in general, lowering their population, as it were, they couldn't hold the turf they had. That is great insult. To have the tower come in and steal your shit.
Yeah.
And being that the Camarilla is now making a hard push east, further into their domain, they aren't going to make a truce. They're going to fight to hold their turf. That is why I told the Seneschal to send people who want to fight. Because the Sabbat are not going to do a parlay.
Has anyone answered that call while I was gone?
Not in 2 days.
So, I'm preparing for what is likely, not a pipe dream.
I'd like to hope that we still have Cameron on our side, too. Did Grant seem to suspect anything?
Did I get any sense of Cameron coming up?
He
at
didn't even
all?
mention him.
Like I said, the amount of time I was there, Grant was very focused on what he wanted to show me. Cameron wasn't mentioned, and seeing my father in that state, I really didn't think to ask. I'm sorry.
I mean, if we have Cameron and Grant is really trying to protect you, that is something going for us attacking the Sabbat first, or focusing on that first. Regardless, don't forget the technocracy behind the SI too.
Yeah, the technocracy have themselves a little pet thin blood to do all their dirty work.
I don't know if we could deal with that.
I think we'll have better luck making an agreement with our lupine friends more before the Sabbat when it comes to the Second Inquisition.
And I go to the club when I can, and I've been socializing with others. I recommend you all do the same. Because when it comes down to dealing with your brother and his organization, we're going to need more than just vampires. They hunt us all.
Well, we'll have to be convincing because right now we're dealing with someone with a very specific bone pick.
Yeah. But like I said, that's just overall as you have time.
Yeah.
Socialize. Build up some connections.
I'll need a couple days.
Yeah, of course. It's not, we can't do both at the same time. And if Grant is inclined to leave us the fuck alone while we deal with the Sabbat, great. But while we're dealing with the Sabbat, we need to be starting to build connections so that when we are done with the Sabbat, we can focus on Grant.
Right. Just whether it's fair or not to blame him for my mother, he is both directly and indirectly now responsible for killing both of my parents.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
Sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Angry.
Yeah.
But right now I'm sad.
Yeah. I get that more than you realize.
I believe you. But that said, I'll be ready when I'm needed.
You are welcome at mine if you need to stay.
Thank you.
Of course.
I know that lately we've been pushing to be on the front lines, and
I'm hoping that enough wish to fight.
that makes me happy to hear, because I think I would be more useful, and I look to Gwen, helping you and what you are good at.
Oh, and Kat even
our-
looks to Rashad and says, I know with what you can do, you would be great at getting information too. I'm hopeful that enough wish to fight, that we don't have to be frontline.
Because I don't, yeah, and I'm not trying to contradict you here when I say this. I don't think there's a lack of bravery or willingness, but I think it is a lack of strengths.
Yes.
When it comes to that.
No, I completely concur. And you all should be utilizing your strengths.
Good. Well, hopefully your call is answered and we get some people willing to get their knuckles dirty.
I'm already starting to get some information on some happenings around the industrial districts, and I'm hoping some people answer the call because I want them looking into it.
I believe we should deal with my wayward cousin sooner rather than later. They should likely not be trusted by the rest of the Sabbat, regardless of their political opinions. My family isn't exactly known for its loyalty to outsiders. And without his protection, it'll give us a weapon that the other shouldn't have.
Just let us know what you need. I don't think we're denying that it needs to be taken care of.
I'm down.
Any ideas on how?
If you need
For the most part, he should not have skills outside of what I can do. He may have trained himself a bit more, but I believe in this case your more militaristic approach would be best. His wraiths will likely not be loyal. We are not exactly kind to the truly dead, so if we can find a way to free them, or at least offer them an out, they should take it. I will do what I can to find out where his fetters are being kept, but a fast and overwhelming response would be best.
We need to get intelligence on his known location. You mentioned before that it seems he's not come out in a while.
Seems so. He's likely afraid.
Or he has evacuated the premises and none are aware of it. So we need to get information.
We have the trucks still. We can have them patrol the area.
Yeah, we have the food trucks.
Yeah.
As one option, obviously. Numerous things to do. But
And
I'll see, depending on
my people something to do.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely send them out. They need to be all over the place getting intel as much as they can, but send them out towards his library or his bookstore or whatever the fuck it is.
Rashad, based from what you said, and Bo takes out his mother's journal. If Grant is willing to do if Grant's willing to cross a line, I need to be willing to do what needs to be done to stop him, and I will put the journal in Rashad's hands. If my mother can be helpful to you, you have my permission.
be mindful of that slippery slope, Bo. We also called him a monster the same night for what he did.
I trust Rashad will respect what this request means.
I'm just saying watch the slope.
My mother is currently in a loop. Honestly, I don't think anything Rashad will do is worse than that. And if it means she's gone, that is probably a better fate than where she's at right now. I would rather Rashad and someone I trust have her fate in his hands than my brother and the people he works with, or Rashad's family.
I accept this in the spirit it is given, and I will do what I can to be as kind as possible.
I have a feeling anything you do is a kindness compared to where she's at right now. Knowing you.
Well, I
Don't make me regret it.
I will not.
Thank you.
So I think right here is a good point where we're going to end this scene and time skip a few months after the events of this night. And in that period of time, there have been soldiers reporting to this coterie to learn to fight, a number of them. Some missions were done during one of those missions. The volunteered soldiers, all but one were destroyed that night. And the one who survived earned her place with this group because Callum had been called back to Chicago by his sire and to report to Mr. Ballard. So with that vacancy, they took the survivor that seemed to have a level head on her shoulders when it comes to not getting destroyed and brought her into the fold. So here we are a few months later where they've got a meeting because they need to speak with the Shadow Lord Vladimir. And I assume, as always, the meeting will be at Kat's property.
Yes, it will.
Okay. So the entire group is gathered, Sunday included, at Kat's property out to the west of town, sitting on a ley line where the land seems to know whose land it is.
And at this point, all the construction is finished. It is a completely walled property. And of course, the house itself is there, and the land is very much hers.
And cameras and all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the coterie is gathered. I'll let the coterie fill in what they want to tell Sunday about Vladimir. And then, Vladimir, you show up when you feel it's appropriate. Kat will know you're coming. She'll know as you're approaching anyway, so.
Thank you all so much for coming over. I've requested that Mr. Milicevic will come because Sunday, what you experienced, he needs to know about. He's a Shadow Lord, a werewolf. From what you described, I believe the abomination might have been one of his tribe.
Then why is he coming over here?
We have an alliance. They are also assisting with the elimination of the Sabbat, because they are using their fellows in experiments with ghouling them or their kinfolk, making monsters out of them.
Yeah, it was definitely a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Enemy of my enemy situation currently.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, another question. Are there rules for like talking to him?
Just be polite. He's a bit, well, you'll see.
Don't stare.
You
Don't
can
stare.
you can do what I do and just kind
Stare.
of stand in the background.
Oh, I think.
Well,
the
I'm
kind
going to
of
have
stare-
Sunday explain what she experienced, so
Oh,
that
never mind then.
yeah, you get to
I don't
talk.
think that's gonna
But yeah, it'll be fine. I'll be right here with you. I will introduce you, and he seems to have a bit of respect for me and doesn't really harm those I keep in my association.
Be careful though; they can smell fear.
Yeah.
Sunday. I meant when I said stare, I meant leer. Don't leer.
What is Lear, y'all?
It'll
Go
be
stairs
fine.
too. It's fine. Don't worry.
Honey.
If he could drool, he would.
Is he cute?
Truth is,
In certain circles.
there's little we could do if he decided that he did not want to have a conversation with us. So
I mean, Cat owns
I
the
would not
land.
worry too much.
I'm not sure I could bury him up to his chin in the earth like Morel did, but I can try.
So far he has been a trustworthy ally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're too
I'll try
nice to
real
do
hard.
anything to piss him off, so
I'll try real hard not to.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
you'll be fine.
Cat would feel an indication that something has entered her land.
Mm.
Exactly 6 things moving towards the house.
I think he brought his pack.
What does that mean for us?
We'll see. And she goes to the door.
To be fair, Cat has her pact with her.
Gwyn gives Sunday like a brief squeeze, it's okay. Just
Leans
breathe.
in a little.
Is the property around your home hilly at all, Cat, or is it truly Kansas and it's flat as
fucking
shit?
Kansas. It's flat. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you see them approaching from a pretty decent ways out. 6 wolves of varying shades of black. Not all of them are the same patterning. Some of them aren't entirely one solid color, but for the most part, black. And there is one that is slightly ahead of the rest. One that is definitely one of the more scarred individuals. Also, one of the smaller wolves amongst the group. The larger ones seem to be on the very edges of the pack as they're running. And the rest slowed down, but the one in front does not seem to be stopping until he's basically at your front door.
And Kat has already stepped out onto the front step.
And he doesn't slow down as much as you'd think, but you do see that it's almost a blink situation of 1 minute it's a wolf who then leaps up onto his back legs, and by the time he gets over to you, Vlad is dusting off his coat. What Sunday would see as the person who has never met him before is a man slightly pale, but not someone who hasn't seen sun, just someone who doesn't take sun in very well. He has a lot of small scars across most of his face. One that is actually new for everyone is one rather large sort of clawed mark across his throat that looks like it's pretty fresh scar tissue. And just from the little bit you're noticing as you look around and observe him, one of his eyes, his left eye is not, there's something uncanny about it, but only mildly. And then he's wearing a simple gray shirt with a leather jacket and jeans and then some boots as he walks up. And you can see now that the other wolves are still approaching, but they're just not coming in as quickly.
Mm-hmm. And she looks to him and says, Vladimir, it's good to see you.
Katerina.
Yes. Do your companions wish to come in as well?
Oh, no, we've decided I'm not allowed to come here alone anymore.
I understand. I don't believe she will be back.
That's a very good thing to hear.
She did what she was supposed to. She taught me what I needed to know. And now she's done.
I am glad you got some positive out of it, because we did not.
I'm sure you didn't. I was not particularly fond of the tutor, but myself. But
you should have seen the debate when I brought it back to the rest of us.
Oh, I bet. Too bad there wasn't a video of it. Come on in.
No, but there is evidence, and he'll just point to the scar as he walks in.
I could fix that up.
No.
Does that mean you sided against the rest of your pack in that discussion?
The rest of my pack? No, my pack listens to me implicitly. We all trust each other. Do you not have politics among your kind?
Yeah, but typically if it comes to that, it's because we've disagreed.
Well, yes, we did both disagree. The man said that I was a fool for being there and we shouldn't take action. I and the rest of my pack advocate for hunting the bitch until she's gone.
So it was just one who disagreed.
Oh, no, it was about half. We are very polarized about the incident, and we've decided to just do nothing.
Well, I'm sure we'll have something for you to do to tide you over. Please allow me to introduce a newest member of our coterie, Sunday Booth. Sunday, this is Vladimir Milisovic.
Hey, what should I call you?
Vlad is fine.
Oh, thank God. Nice to meet you, Vlad.
Question for Sunday's player. What scent does Sunday give off for someone who would be able to track such things?
I will say her humanity is high enough that she's not reeking of worm taint. She's got 7 humanity, so she's not totally reeking of worm taint yet.
All right, so she's mild, if anything. Okay, interesting.
And now, Jen, you can continue with your scent.
Artificially, she smells like just floral, like a variety of flowers.
Okay. And he'll reach out his hand in a handshake motion, but as his hand moves, Sunday, you notice that it's so uncanny, and it seems like he has a very precise control over it, because he's reaching forward, and his hand starts human, and by the time it reaches you up to the wrist, it is a clawed wolf's-like hand holding out to shake yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't do anything like that. Just reaches out to shake.
Shakes its coarse, thick fur, and while the claws aren't piercing, you can feel them against your hand as he shakes a few times and then lets go. And by the time he draws his hand back, it's human again.
Kind of rubs her hands where the claws were, like, oh, that's a little familiar. Okay.
Sunday has joined our group because Callum had to go back north. And Sunday is one that wants to fight. So she recently went with a group that I was sending on a mission to get some intelligence, really, on some of the Sabbat actions that were happening. And she's the only survivor.
It's very clear that Vlad is now giving a much more serious appraisal of Sunday as he hears that.
And I wanted her to share with you what destroyed the rest of her team. Please, Sunday.
Okay. Story time. So me and a bunch of other people, I'd never been them before. I'd just gotten into town, and we went to go look into a couple different places, and we ended up outside of this all day, like 24/7 express logistics place. You know what I'm talking about? I can point it out on a map if you need me to. We weren't supposed to go in. We were just trying to get information, and everything was going everything was going as smoothly as it could when some cops pulled up. The reason? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the reason. So I went down half a block to talk to him, right? Just to get rid of him, make sure I didn't have to knock him out or anything while we were busy talking shop in the other car. And well, all of a sudden, like the ground started shaking. I had never been in an earthquake before, but I heard you're supposed to get in like a door frame, and we were in the middle of the street, so we just kind of froze. And it's gonna sound crazy. Okay. The ground split open under my car, and something shot up from underneath it. It was huge. I've never seen anything that big before in my entire life. And it was like, you know how like right before you you black out, everything gets real dark and hazy, and it's hard to see anything? It looked like that, but just like coming up out of the ground. It knocked my car head over heels off into a building and roared. And then everyone started shooting and yelling and attacking it. And next thing I know, I hear okay, you know the sound that it makes when someone's skull kind of caves in a little?
Vlad nods practically as if yes, he knows exactly what that sound is.
Yeah. And then I saw one of our people drop, so I went to go try to get him. Just pull him away. And I guess I caught a claw or something. It was so dark and like kind of a familiar way, but also really, really wrong. And next thing I know, I'm half a block on the ground, rolling around, just kind of tripping over my insides.
I'm guessing it stung, maybe burned a little.
I don't know properly that either of those words fully encapsulates the feeling. I have not hurt like that in a real long time. Anyway, well, I got up, put the outsides back inside, and I was gonna run to try to help him again, but out of nowhere, it, clapped, I guess, and the worst sound I've ever heard in my life. It felt like everything in my whole body shattered, and upside down and right side up was all flipped, and I couldn't do anything.
Shoved back, disoriented.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where any of my limbs were in space or time.
There is, from outside, a bump of like someone who just got startled by information, and then you hear like some muffled admonishing and distancing from the building. I promise they just care about me. They're not doing it maliciously.
It's fine. I've heard stories. My grandmother came from Romania. When Sunday reported that to me, I immediately put the skull out. They have created an abomination, Vladimir, of one of yours.
It was terrifying.
You all can almost feel that Vlad doesn't mean to do it. But there is a very noticeable and resonant growl coming more from his chest. His mouth isn't even open.
And if everyone needs to take a step back, you can. Cat's not going to.
Under Bo's breath, he just goes, "Oh my."
Gwen's kind of looking around for something that Kat wouldn't be upset if she gave him for him to break.
It's okay. Literally, most of like the decor is not like antique or anything.
Yeah. So Gwen just kind of like pulls up, like picks up like the small table next to her. Is like, do you need to vent?
There is an IKEA in Kansas City, near Kansas City.
Sorry, I have different problems with IKEA, but that pulled me out of my bullshit. He'll turn and look back at Sunday. You're certain it was clapping that started this whole horrid explosive noise?
Yeah, everybody else was kind of already down at that point.
Gaia, bless it all. And Vlad will look up to his right shoulder. Go tell the Sept Alpha about this as soon as possible. The last thing we need is people getting surprised by it like I did.
I'm sorry.
Yes, of course you can stay there. It's fine. I'll be back later.
It's all right, Sunday. He needs to know this. His people need to know this. Because
yes.
they need to be aware of what they're dealing with. out there.
And then it also tells us what tactics and strategies we can expect.
Mm-hmm.
Straight
Well,
out
we
of the
knew
ground.
they were already ghouling some of your kin.
Would you happen to know what turned them?
If I may, Sunday, you mentioned the darkness was familiar. Do you mean in the same way our kin are able to, or
Yeah, like
others?
sometimes I'm really hard to find and see and stuff. Like it felt familiar,
It would
but
be
like wrong.
possibly La Sombra.
So someone has decided to embrace redundancy. Of course.
They are losing. So they do drastic things.
There is most likely going to be a hunt. I'm going to advocate for one. I would encourage all of you to stay out of places it's been.
Perfect.
And places that you think it might be.
Perfect.
Where might it go? Do they sleep underground?
It would depend. If the earth is opening up to release it, that could mean any number of things. I know there are rumors of things amongst all of you that can do things with stone. I don't know much about them. I also know that many of our abilities can easily communicate with elements, and that would include earth. Either way, I dislike that that sort of power would even be available.
But if it was already a werewolf with powers and was embraced, it would keep powers, would it not?
Potentially. Oftentimes, the corruption would burn such things away. The fact that it does sometimes stick is why we hate abominations.
Because it seems to me the way it was described by Sunday in the moment, it was viscerally detailed. That is not the way we deal with the earth. It had to have come from your gifts.
And so there is retention of connection as well. Fantastic. Just what we need.
Storyteller, would I know anything about this? Would I have heard any stories from
I'm
elders?
sure you're. I'm sure that the Giovanni have stories of abominations. Feel free to add whatever you feel your character would have known from it, because Giovanni have stories of everything.
Rumors of people foolish enough to attempt it. It is usually difficult to keep them listening to us. There's at least theorized that there's something about being one of you that makes you more resistant to control. So either it is some sort of free will, or someone rather powerful is devoting a lot of effort to making it listen.
The one thing that you can count on is that most of us do tend to be rather stubborn, especially when something is trying to do something like change us or kill us or whatever have you. Even unconscious, I have seen my kind rip things apart simply because their body was under threat. So I'm not surprised that it is more of a rarity.
Don't
Well,
know
it
how
seemed
quickly it will grow. At least in our abilities, there's usually some requirements. Do you or your kind have any estimations on how long it would take to either properly acclimate to our condition or anything like that?
nothing that I immediately would know about in detail. I know that for you to turn a human, it doesn't take long for them to go from corpse to one of you, at least from what I've understood of it. But to advance in any significant way from our side requires certain connections that I'm not certain something like this would even still have. It is clearly, as you said, capable of retaining certain abilities, otherwise the clap of thunder would not have occurred. But it is uncertain at this juncture whether it could gain new power from us and what we do. Because it requires a connection to something that, while I am deeply connected, as you all have probably seen, and he just sort of waves over above his head a bit, I am supposed to be connected to it. So I'm not certain if there would be any more gain from our abilities. Yours, I'm uncertain.
Storyteller, I have rolled an intelligence science with a specialty of biology.
Okay.
And got 6.
What would you like to know?
Oh, I got 5. I'm sorry, I got 5. Like to know if I can make an estimate on the question at hand.
You know, you're a vampire, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Takes training to learn how to harness the blood.
Mm-hmm.
But you also know how long that training takes depends on the individual and what you put them through.
Mm-hmm.
It is very possible to crash course a vampire if they only focus on powers that are weapons,
mm-hmm.
if you subject them to things that force them to use those powers repeatedly.
Something that the Sabbat is very good at is forcing growth amongst vampires. They used to have a practice of mass embrace, often called shovelheads.
Oh, I've heard the term.
They were cannon fodder. They were meant to go out and cause chaos and do destruction and get destroyed, and those that survived were elevated to be real kindred, real vampires. And then they got crash coursed through learning how to be a weapon. If that is focused upon with this abomination, it could grow exponentially within its vampiric disciplines that are focused on damage.
Oh, it's pretty strong already, though.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're also going to have other things beyond just ourselves looking for this.
Indeed.
So that should help broaden the search.
What other things do you mean exactly?
Oh, and he just, again, waves slightly above his head. We still haven't retrieved the one that I sent out looking at those Inquisition.
You might not.
I hate that I sent it probably to its death.
Likely no, you would look for it that way, correct?
Yes, but if it's doing things in the way that you are describing it doing things, I am chosen and designed for exactly that. This one sounds like more of a complete warrior, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
I have ways to make sure that some dumb stick of meat doesn't actually notice what I'm doing.
Have there been many of your kind who have gone missing lately. The odds of this being successful are very slim. I've heard that of an abomination occurring, it takes 20 attempts for just one to be successful.
Well, aside from the ones that had gone missing since we did the investigations through what you said the SI were experimenting on, Storyteller, would there be any notes of more of us disappearing?
You would have noticed abnormal disappearances from your pack and your sept. But there's a lot of septs out there. You may not know if others took losses, especially if whoever's doing it is smart enough to spread it around a little.
And then there's also the lovely condition that we're at war, so a bunch of us die and go missing all the fucking time. So it's kind of hard to keep track. Disappearances are somewhat frequent with us. Our numbers dwindle frequently and often enough that it's sometimes hard to keep track of how many we lose. So yes, there are those of us disappearing. To say that they're all disappearing for the exact same reason, indeterminate.
I think it is. I think it's likely underground. It would need a place to learn how to use our darkness, even for the more direct techniques. It's not an easy thing to learn, especially the cost it takes.
And then it's probably... Apologies.
It could be hiding in that labyrinth. Would be one of the only places. None of us would be able to find it easily. And if it can use the ley lines in a way similar to that wee kid, it would know where it needed to be, which would explain how it caught on to Sunday's group so quickly.
Well, if it is utilizing ley lines or staying near enough to it, I can simply ask the ley line and it can tell me where he is.
Does it eat people?
I would assume it eats anything it can get its hands on.
I mean, at the very least, it killed...
has been turned into, basically, it is a werewolf, an actual werewolf that has been turned into a vampire. It is going to drink blood.
And be a pain in the ass to even harm.
Yes.
Because you all can somewhat heal. We can definitely heal. Between both of us mixing, that's a terribly unkillable thing.
And you know it's going to be the strongest of the strong because of that high mortality rate.
Exactly.
In the transition.
Well, we have some hunting to do.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It is just par for the course.
Never say sorry for something that's not your fault.
Yeah.
Unless you're claiming responsibility for it, which I wouldn't advise in this case.
Yeah, that's how you get werewolves hunting you.
Well, I really don't want that.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Vlad, may I escort you out?
He'll... Actually, no, there's no suspicious scowl. He just shrugs and walks with Bo to the door.
Do you take him off the property? Walk him to the edge of the property?
I'll walk him just out of the house.
As the front door opens, there are 5 other wolves sitting at the about 2 feet from the front door. Yeah, some there's one that has sort of a smug look on its face as its head's tilted towards the door, and then there's the really big one who is trying its best to look sheepish, but I mean, try and have a big wolf look in any way intimidated. They can't. And Vlad will just turn, look back, and sort of give a half-assed wave back inside.
Bo will just nod, containing all instincts to give him a wink.
And Kat will just call out, "Good hunting."
Nice meeting you.
And Vlad will just give an indicated nod and walk away, and one of the wolves will actually growl at him, to which he will then just look down at them and say, "No, actually, she didn't smell like death. She was surprisingly floral." And then he turns into a wolf and runs off.
And as your pack
Oh my.
leaves Cat's property, 1 minute, you smell nothing. There's nobody there with you. You step off the property, get about 2 steps when you can smell the scents. There's 4 people right here near you, near your pack, right outside Cat's property.
As I give the specific growl of indication that the pack needs to mobilize, and we all pop war form immediately. I'm not risking this shit.
Well, what you find, the 4 individuals, 3 of them do smell somewhat of worm taint. 1 does not at all. There's average height man, shoulder length, jet black hair. He's got a sharp patrician's nose, very intense black or brown eyes, almost black. And the 3 with him, there's 2 men and a woman. One man's tall and wiry, close cropped black hair, piercing blue eyes. The other man is kind of tall and broad. He's got blonde hair all the way down his back. He also seems to have piercing blue eyes. And then there's the woman. She's tall and thin, almost boyish with her build. Long chestnut hair, and again, those piercing blue eyes. And she's got a smile on her face like she knows a joke that only she's party to. They don't have any weapons. All of them appear to be loose-fitting clothes, though you can see the tight leathers under their clothes. And the man with the patrician nose, who's the one who doesn't smell of the worm, didn't mean to startle you. No regrets, friend. Please. I have business with the owner of this place.
There is a sigh, and only Vlad goes back to human. Very well.
Interesting.
And the pack will split off in 2 directions around them, while he just stays there until the pack's on the other side, and then he will go to the right of them and walk around, never taking his eyes off them, though. And also doing his best to memorize the scents and make sure his pack is doing the same.
It's been a long time since I've seen your kind. Safe journeys. No matter where your prey is, hunt well.
Can I tell if he's sincere on that, storyteller?
Very much so. He has no accent. I'll tell you that. None. Generic, not even American. He just has no accent.
Is there any chance he seems like maybe he's familial?
No.
Not necessarily to me specifically, but to my kind.
You're pretty sure from the scent of death on him, he is a vampire.
All right, so he is one of the actual corrupted ones.
Yes, but not. He has less of a worm smell than even Sunday.
And which was the one that wasn't twisted?
That is the one who's doing the speaking.
Okay. With
the patrician nose and the jet black hair. The other
so clearly
3,
kindred,
you can smell,
but not.
Yeah, all 4 are kindred. 3 of them, they've got it. Their humanity is much lower than his, for sure.
So it's the difference of a day-old body and a 10-year-old body. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stare at him a bit as they head towards Cats and then shift back to Wolf, and we all take off back to the Sept.
Cat, your only warning is when the land warns you that one person has stepped onto your land and stopped at the border of it. Just one. They've not stepped any closer in.
Everything all right, Kat?
Someone is at my border, but they've stopped. If it was...
I will use...
Yes.
Upon that, I will use clairvoyance.
Oh. Go for it.
Go for it. Give me your clairvoyance roll as you're going to spread out your awareness. Clairvoyance is a nice intelligence aspects roll. You get to use your power bonus, of course.
And I will, and with my blood resonance, so I'll just hit the blood surge button, but that'll account for my various bonuses.
And make sure you hit your power bonus. Oh, yeah, because I'd give you both of them.
Yep.
Let's see what you have here. Nice. 6 successes. As you spread out your awareness, you get to ask various questions about what you see as you push your sight out of your body. And you all have not seen Bo do this yet, but his eyes kind of glaze over. He's there. It's not the glaze over of a premonition. His eyes glaze over, but they're twitching as if he's moving his eyes different direction and looking at something that you don't see.
I would probably have my eyes closed, but as opposed to the premonition where I'd probably have my eyes open. That's how you probably tell the difference.
So what would you like to know? You've actually got 6 questions you can do about them that you can ask on what you see around there.
Do I see any Sabbat symbology?
No, their outfits are relatively plain, almost as if they're maybe disposable or meant to blend in without looking different.
Do I see any outlines or possession of weaponry?
None of them are armed. Though you catch a belt loop on the 3 of them, on 2 of the men and 1 of the women. The guy with the patrician nose has no weapons markings at all, but the others have belt loops where it's clear they hang weapons, though they bear none tonight.
I guess probably more generally, do they appear kindred?
It's winter. There's no breath coming off them. No breath in the air. No obvious movement of the chest. Only the woman has stepped onto the land. The other 3 are standing outside of the fence or outside the gate of the wall and waiting.
I will be as you're giving me this is what I'm relaying with my eyes closed.
Cat's already moving to the door at this point because it's obviously someone seeking invitation.
Can I expand out? Do I see anyone moving in like a stealthy or like trying to get a different vantage point, or does everyone that is within my vision as far back as I can go or close
as you sweep out together further and further, you catch Vladimir's pack leaving as they're heading off into the distance. There's no others in the area around Krat's property tonight.
I think that's all that's coming to mind, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And Kat is actually standing by the door with her hand on the door handle, getting ready to exit. And she turns and looks back to Bo and says, "That's a handy skill."
Yeah, just picked it up.
Kat, do you want me to hide? Just in case.
You can if you wish, but I don't think this is going to be a problem. They are unarmed, which granted isn't always meaning that they are defenseless, as we know, because I oftentimes don't carry a weapon. But they have shown proper protocol. 1 step onto the property to alert the Khaldun in residence to request invitation. I will see to it. And she opens the door and closes it behind her. And there are lights on the property, so she can see the woman standing.
And as soon as you open the door and step out, the woman turns, steps off your property, and stands outside the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And a man's voice rings out, again, no accent. "I ask the master of this land for permission to enter as a guest with all the rights and traditions that implies."
The dragon welcomes you.
"And as a guest, I will follow all the rules that are required of guests."
As it should always be. Make yourself welcome.
And the man steps in. His 3 friends, you see them all clearly, even from this distance. You can see the blue eyes. They almost glow, but don't. It's close. They stay at the gate as he begins to walk forward. This man, shoulder-length, jet black hair, patrician nose. He's also wearing that loose-fitting clothing.
Mm-hmm.
He walks not as you don't see him walking as a killer or a hunter, but he has purpose. He's a man that knows where he's going as he's walking.
Mm-hmm.
And as he approaches Kat, right here, everybody, I think we're going to go to break. We will see everybody in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the wonderful Carlene because, hey, that's our break music. Oh, wrong one. See, I fucked up tonight. Went straight to stream over. That was it. We're done, everybody. It's over. Oops. It's all done.
Change our view here, Shanky.
Yep. Let me switch your view for Mama.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's legitimate. There you go.
There we go.
Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, well, they had some fun. And by fun, I mean they met with the local Shadow Lord. And I don't know. I think Sunday made a good impression. I'm just going to stick with that. I'm sure Sunday did a good impression. And then there was visitors at Kat's property. And this man with jet black hair, shoulder length, sharp nose, tense brown eyes. Thank you for welcoming me to your house.
Of course. And you are?
You may call me Mirsha Basarab.
Basarab.
Yes.
That makes the second extinct line I have met in this city.
And when he said his name, you notice he switched to an accent, but then switched right out of it.
What accent was it? One she's familiar with.
It is definitely Eastern European. Grandma Ludmilla had that same exact accent.
She switches to Romanian and says, "What is a Basarab doing in Kansas City?"
And he smiles, and his accent switches, and his language switches instantly. There are no Basarabs.
Of course there aren't.
I am, well, my sire was a bit of a historian, you might say, or thought he was at least. He had a flair for the dramatic.
I can see. Well, welcome. I am Katerina Rakosi.
Rakosi? I knew I was meeting with Katerina, but not a Rakosi.
Yes.
Are you related to Ludmilla Rakosi?
Granddaughter.
I'm sorry?
I appreciate it.
I have had dealings with her in the past.
I'm sorry.
Well, it was not pleasant. But she is not a pleasant woman.
No, she is not.
My companions will wait at the gate.
They are welcome if they need.
Oh,
hospitality.
They are fine back there. That is my Stefan, my Naomi, and my Theo.
Please do come in. My coterie is in residence presently.
Thank you. And he switches right back into English, and all traces of the accent are gone as he follows you into the building. And when he steps in, he looks over.
Please allow me to introduce you. Gwen Schultz.
And he comes over to Gwen and he reaches for your hand.
She takes it.
And he just lightly brushes his lips on the back of your hand. You may call me Mirsha.
Mirsha, nice to meet you.
Bo Solomon.
And he comes and takes your hand and does the same thing, just lightly brushes his lips on the back of your hand. I am Mirsha.
Enchanté.
Rashad Giovanni.
Giovanni. Should I give you a more traditional greeting?
It's your choice.
And he steps close to you and lightly brushes his lips on both of your cheeks.
Evidence.
Nice to meet you.
And
Good to meet you.
of course, Sunday Booth.
Sunday. And he goes to take your hand and also just lightly brushes his lips. They're cold lips because he's vampire. Across the back of your hand. I am Mirsha.
You're like super European, huh?
I have traveled everywhere at various points. As young as people tell me I look. There's a lot of miles I have walked.
Do make
You got
yourself
nice shoes for that.
do make yourself comfortable. Do you need refreshment?
Oh, no. I've come because I've heard, well, that you're looking for individuals to fight.
Indeed. Have you come to fight?
I am not a fighter. I am a planner. I am a strategist. But my hunters, they are fighters.
Your companions outside.
Yes.
Hmm.
They go and hunt what I tell them and pursue their targets.
Hmm.
I offer my services in strategy, planning, and those, as people are wont to say, operational matters.
I see.
I'm going to have everybody right here, before it all starts, give me wits awareness, and we'll just keep it for the scene, because I know at some point somebody's going to start wondering what they're catching here.
I want to surge that too.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to use that specialty.
Would a specialty in ambushes apply?
I mean, I'll let you use it, but I'm going to take your roll and you apply it towards watching for trouble if you use your specialty for that. It's up to you. Bo
I'll
has
use my
6.
specialty for it.
Nice.
I think I get an extra dice. Hold on.
I'll use a willpower.
Go ahead.
Same.
Or
4.
How do I?
Wow, 8 from Bo. Dear God, man. There's still a roll dot beside your willpower now. Yep.
There we go. Now I got 5.
5. 8 is fucking
Hold on.
impressive.
My dice keep messing up. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
And I got a little hungrier. Not bad.
Got 5. It's got 6 from
Oh,
Rashad.
hold on. I rolled the wrong thing.
Oh my God.
It's 4 from me. That was a different roll that
Okay.
I did on accident.
Hold on. I messed up my willpower. I hit the wrong button. Now that there's 2 dice, let me roll 3 more.
I mean, it's going to be hard to beat Bo's 8. Dear God. And let's get all the rest out of the scene. That's 2 more successes for you, Gwen.
That's a 7.
7, 8. Wow. 5 from Kat. Let's get anything else. If anyone's going to break out their other shit they like to do, because I know we've got people that have, like, Sense the Beast, people that have Scry the Soul. Let's just get this over with now so we can continue the scene and not break it up. If anyone wants to use those powers, go ahead.
Can I just do my can I also do my intelligence investigation with deduction specialty just to put things together?
Sure.
Okay.
I would like to roll politics and intelligence, see if I know who this person is.
Okay.
I need to rouse.
Did was this guy wearing anything on his wrist?
No. He just has a ring on one finger. It's black onyx, either silver or platinum. Okay, I'll keep yours in mind there, Gwen, with 8
I
on
have-
investigation intelligence.
One more
Is anyone doing, I know
9.
Kat has Sense the Beast.
with a crit.
Is Rashad doing his aura scrying or Bo doing an aura scry or anything like that? I want to get this out of the way.
I can't. That's not
No,
something I can.
I only got
do.
3 on
Sense the
Sense
Beast?
I'll do it. Why not? I'll do it. I'll do that too. Why not?
He has a beast and it's not hostile.
Good.
Do you feel no hostility coming off it?
I didn't get that vibe anyway, but always good to check.
I just want to get all this out of the way early so that we can go on with the scene and not have to worry about it. That way we don't have to break it up. 5 for Scry the Soul. He is definitely a vampire, but his aura is off, but not in a bad way. His aura is pulled so tight to his body, it's like he's in complete control of his emotions, to where Nothing leaks that he doesn't want leaked. I'm going to keep in mind Gwen's because I'm going to have something for you in a bit. I'll have a message ready to send you in a little bit.
I'll just stick with my wits awareness. I don't think I have anything else I want to do right now.
Okay. Just going to leave that right there for later. Okay.
Well, tell me, Mersha, what sort of things have you sent your hunters after?
What haven't I sent them after? I have sent them after our kind. Normally those who have crossed lines that I don't agree with. Mainly those who have violated the rules of common society. They have fought lupine. I even once sent them after changeling. Humans are not a challenge for them. Their skills are unique. They have been with me for quite some time, actually. I found them early in my unlife.
And what makes you want to fight the Sabbat?
I don't agree with their methodology. I don't agree that we should be monsters because we can be monsters. We are what we are, and while we contain a monster within us, it should not rule us. We should be in control of it. It should be part. How can I put it? It should be a tool to be used as needed, but not the only tool. And I do not feel they have the right ideas of things anymore. From what I've been told of their history, they were once quite different than they are now.
I'm rolling a wits insight on that to make sure he's telling the truth.
Okay, let me roll against you just because.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he appears to be telling the truth.
All right.
You're pretty convinced he's not lying at all.
Okay. So let me guess, you heard that Azamitsi had put out a call for those who wish to fight against the Sabbat. And it piqued your interest.
I hear a lot of things. It's important to keep your ear to the land, you might say, to know what's going on, especially when you're not one who puts a lot of roots in many places. We spend a lot of time on the road going where it leads.
Does that keep you much from family?
I have no family anymore. My family are my 3 hunters. It's the only family I've had, well, since I became an undead. It's the first rule, isn't it? We break ties as necessary.
And we make them too.
I mean,
I made
if our family is also kindred, that can be changed.
My families are long gone, other than my 3 hunters. And even when they pass, there will always be Stefan, a Naomi, and a Theo.
So they're mortal.
Oh, no. They are our kind. But I keep the same companions. It makes it easier, I found.
Oh.
You renamed them.
I was renamed. Why not?
Yes, he is given a name of an extinct revenant family, but it is not his family.
So you're not Demirsha related to Vlad?
No. As I said, my sire was a student, or fancied himself a student of history. I am not brother to Vlad Tepes, though I am named for his brother.
Yes, that's why I laughed when you said your sire was a fan of history.
Overly dramatic at times.
And overly dramatic at times.
But
yes.
names are transient things. I rename my companions. I cannot call them my child, because they are not. They get a new name as well.
Are they of Scandinavian origin?
No. Well, Theo was.
Because they all have distinctly blue eyes.
I fancy blue eyes.
Oh, do you?
So
I see.
I tend to
Make
find
such.
those that match what I look for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Theo was Scandinavian. Stefan was English.
Mm.
Naomi, she was interesting. She was French.
Mm.
But I offer any services you need.
I would appreciate it. We have a number of individuals that have signed on wanting to fight. Some are really good at gathering intelligence. Others are more frontline fighters. Coordination and planning would be excellent.
I'm very good at that. My fighting days are past. I have found I no longer have the stomach to directly participate. But that's what friends are for. And that is what hunters are for. I will work with you.
Yes.
And the rest of you, of course. We will find targets. And we can use my hunters. They are not shock troops. They are a precision instrument.
Assassinations.
Some call it that. I call it tactical targeting.
Yes.
Their skills are quite unique in that matter.
Can you elaborate?
They are good at getting places they shouldn't, coming out when they should not either. They are all skilled at not being seen, not being heard, finding their target, and eliminating them in the most efficient manner possible. To put it in Mr. Solomon's terms, they are assassins, trained to kill the supernatural. Because I have need of that at times.
And you'll help free of expectations.
Of course. You were looking for volunteers. I was not aware this was a paid position.
I have to ask. You never know what some people think.
Oh, I do understand. I've learned over the years that everyone always looks for the hand that gives and also watch for that dagger that comes with it. I do not play those falsehoods.
Despite playing with literal daggers.
I do not play with any weapons anymore.
Valid.
He's off fighting now.
You may say that I've earned my respite there. I can relax now.
Oh, this is going to sound so rude. How old are you?
Not as old as many think, but older than I appear. I don't like to discuss age as many of our kind don't.
I was just wondering how many years of retirement.
I've been retired for long enough. I last personally killed a man during World War II. Person. And I regretted that having to happen. But there's some things I could not tolerate. As I said, rules and common courtesy, civilization, even ours, are important.
Indeed, they are.
Which is why I still followed hospitality for potential friends.
Appreciate that.
I am not one of those who are bound to ask permission. That would make assassins unusable.
Yes.
But I respect it among my allies.
You remind me of Hideo.
Hideo.
Oh, yes,
Mhm.
he's in town. Do you know him?
Banu Akim.
Yep. I figured you know him.
I have had the good fortune to run into him in the past. I'm going to have to call on him.
You can sometimes find him at Elysia.
Oh, I'm sure I will find him. I will send Naomi to let him know that I am in town.
I can let him know.
Well, if you wish. She's seen his face, so she can find him.
Oh.
Is there any of the supernatural that you and your hunters won't go after?
They wouldn't be very good hunters if they refused targets, now would they?
Not what I asked.
We go after those that must be destroyed. I saw your friends leaving, unless I missed my guess. They were Shadow Lords.
They are.
I hold no ill will, as long as they understand the courtesies of society, even theirs,
Yes.
is just as important as ours.
We have a mutual respect presently. We are in alliance against the Sabbat. The Sabbat have been taking their kin and even their lupine and doing things to them.
See, and that is the problem.
And we also are working with some glasswalkers in the city proper.
I have not dealt with them in a number of years.
Yes. There is, of course, the Second Inquisition in the city.
Hunters.
Mhm.
For my hunters. Interesting. That adds a level of challenge for them.
Yes.
They are up to it.
And there are likely mages assisting them.
They are more difficult to deal with normally, if you let them know you're coming.
Yes. I believe the term for them was technocracy. Don't know if you're familiar with that.
They use their magic for technology. They have a weakness. They feel that technology is foolproof. When their technology fails them, they usually don't see what's coming. Like I said, we have dealt with many other supernaturals. But I'm hoping that we can be of use to
Absolutely.
you all.
Absolutely. You do not always have to come here. We have a domain in the city. And she will give instructions on the location that the coterie can be met with. We just happened to be here this evening because we were meeting with the Shadow Lords.
Do you have a war room yet?
Need to have one.
I will make that my first order of business.
Excellent.
We shall get maps of the city that we can note important targets
Yes.
so that we can look for patterns in their locations to figure out other locations and strategize.
Are you and your hunters all business?
My hunters are. I am a little less at times. Why? Do you have something in mind?
No, just need to know what the expectation is when we interact with you. If
You'll find
socializing
my
is part of the
hunters
deal.
do not participate in idle chatter. They do not banter. They are single-minded of purpose. I am both mouthpiece and master.
You able to find people?
That is what Naomi does.
There is a Giovanni that has lost their way. I would like for you to find where he may be at the moment.
If you have a picture, it will be faster. If you do not, no matter. We will look
Storyteller, would I have had a picture of him by now?
I don't think you could probably
I
get
don't-
one drawn based on your memory of him. It wouldn't be perfect, but it might be good enough. We track faster with pictures, but as I said, they are hunters. They can find them.
We'll have something drawn as soon as I can.
I will, either myself or one of my hunters will come see you in a day. One night. So you can give a picture.
But done.
I assume you'll be seeing quite a bit of me as I help you with the strategy. My hunters generally will be much harder to see. But don't worry. When I'm around, they'll normally be not far.
That almost sounds like a challenge to try and see them.
What did they get out of all this? You being their master and whatnot.
They get to be the best killers they can be. They chose this life. They chose servitude. I did not force it on them. And in return, they get to feel accomplished at what they are. They know they're some of the best. And get to prove it over and over and over.
Do they get to retire?
Unfortunately, you'll find assassins generally do not have a good retirement plan.
Their retirement is usually destruction.
They get retired.
But they knew going into it, they are not my children.
And do you train them or do they come to you trained?
They all come with some skills. But I train them in what I can and find trainers to train the rest.
Train them to die.
Train them to kill. A death is just a complication that sometimes happens.
It also helps them survive.
No one can be on top forever.
Can I make an insight check on Sunday? That is the first time she did not sound
Chipper.
chipper or nervous since I've met her.
I'm going to roll one too. Cat's still learning this new girl.
3, yeah.
6
6
with a crit.
5. So we got a 6 and a 5 in there. Two more with the willpower. That's rolled too many willpower. It's rolling the wrong thing for it. It's not letting you roll the willpower or fail. It just lets you roll all your willpower dice. Ain't that weird?
Can we just do the first three? There's the left and the right button with willpower, and so it does it.
Okay. So actually that would be a crit, which puts you to 9 successes? Yes, 9 successes. 9 successes. Sunday, why did your attention change on that?
There is definitely something about the whole like master servant dynamic that is making her straight prickly.
There you go.
Okay. Cat makes a mental note.
We all die sometime.
Indeed. We are only as eternal as we can be.
That's right. Even Tally has his failures. Assassins know they have a finite time span to be good at what they do. Which is why I do not force them. They volunteer for this.
Well, I believe we will enjoy working with you.
I hope so. I look forward to getting to know all of you. Everybody new you meet brings something new to the experience of it all.
Yes. Just can't wait to see what you bring.
Chef,
I do not disappoint. Yes.
while you're helping us, would you mind, as part of that help, training me a bit?
What would you like
If
training
everyone's
in?
better. Whatever you're most suited in.
Suited in a lot of things. Afraid you must be a little more specific. I don't think you need to be trained in Eastern European history. As I said, my sire
To
was
kill, then
to kill.
what you train everybody else to do.
We can discuss that. I am sure I can help. And maybe, if I train you some one day, I will need another Naomi, and I will make the offer to you.
No.
Most likely, most say no when I offer. But a few accept. I do not care about rejection if they say no. It was not meant to be. I have come for what I've said. I will depart now.
I will extend a hand.
And this time he takes it, shakes.
I will use Spirit Touched on the ring.
Okay. Very interesting. Cute. I will point out, he did touch each of you when he came in, which also meant if he wanted to, he could have been using powers too.
Yeah. Oh,
But
absolutely he could.
He could.
He wouldn't if he valued hospitality.
Yep. So go ahead and give me your Spirit's Touch. Intelligence, all specs.
Doing the same, using the Blood Surge button to get my specific
Go
bumps.
ahead.
There you are.
4
Gonna
successes.
Gonna use a willpower.
Okay, go ahead. Five successes. Anything in particular you're looking for, or do you just want a general feel of the ring?
I'm supposed to get an emotional resonance off an item that's been used by the user. So I'm just trying to get a read on this guy.
It's very odd. The ring doesn't have a lot of his emotions with it. You know, as you're pulling back, 10 years back, he still had the ring with him. The emotions, there's not much in there. Though there's faint traces of anger and joy, but nothing overpowering. And you push back a little further. There's sadness. About 50 years ago, you suspect one of his hunters fell. Push back further. He's had the ring at least 100 years. Because 100 years ago, he lost another hunter. You don't know how long he has held that ring, but that ring is very old. And you know that it wasn't always his, but it is very old.
Great.
I bid you good evening, and I will see you another night. And he turns and bows and walks from the place with that same assured walk of confidence. Now, because of your earlier roles as he leaves, for all your awareness and watching him, he didn't seem stiff, but definitely all of his actions were controlled. He wasn't one for unplanned actions. This is a man, not only from what Rashad saw from his scry, which I'll let him share later when he's ready, he's in control of himself on many levels. He lets nothing out that he doesn't want to let out. And Kat, you can feel when they leave your property. All of them at once. And I turn this over to the players for what will be the final scene of the evening.
Storyteller, did I know anything about him?
You've never heard, unless you've studied old Eastern European history and know
Kat
that...
didn't mention his last name, just that it was an extinct revenant family.
Yeah. You just know that if you know like Gwen, she had enough history to have learned. Mirsha was actually brother to Vlad Tepes, historically. Which would make sense of his sire fancying himself a historian.
He goes by Mirsha Basarab.
Now, as a Giovanni, you'd know the Basarabs are dead.
As I said, an extinct line. He is not a Basarab. He's of the right location. But that's not to say he was even a revenant at all.
He
In a very... Sorry, Rashad.
has excellent control over his aura. Very impressive. It's unusual.
Can I do some kind of check on that to see if I know anything about that from Zamitzi information?
Go ahead.
What can I roll?
What do you want to roll?
Oh, no.
You can go, you could do an academics roll. I'm trying to think of what else you could roll. Occult, if
I've
you have
got
enough
no
occult. Politics, but you don't have much of that. Leadership, I'll let you go with.
Yeah. Okay. And is this still part of the same scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so my wits I'd like to use because those are searched.
Okay, go ahead.
Would anyone else be able to make a roll based on occult or just knowledge in general?
They can.
Okay, I got 3.
Intelligence occult?
Go ahead.
As well.
Yeah, I'll surge. Why not?
So Kat's got 3, 2, and 4. While they're deciding to willpower, whatever. Kat, I will tell you, as a having that much control over his emotions and his aura would definitely make him a great commander, because he has that dispassion he needs to not let emotions get in the way of decision making.
Mm-hmm.
He will do what he feels needs to be done that fits his moral code.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that means at all costs sometimes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have his input as a tactical advisor, but not have him run things.
He would never be an ethical or moral advisor. Though he does, apparently, everything he said to you all, he has rules about
I'm
what
sure
lines
he
should not be
does,
crossed.
But he's good for operations, that kind of stuff, not, no.
Rashad 4. Gwen, you got 3 on the occult. There are disciplines that allow you to control your aura. It's different from the fortitude, fortify the inner facade, because that hides your mental part. It's not that his aura is strictly controlled, but what he's done is he pulls his aura so close to himself that it makes it impossible to read all the emotions that might be there, because it's a solid layer. It's so tight into his body. This is definitely somebody who has, to exert that level of control, you have to put serious limitations on yourself. It's not easily done. And to be fair, you're not sure how you could do that when the beast is under your skin somewhere.
Would Gwen kind of understand that a little bit based on her lore sheet and the relationship she has with her beast?
Yes.
Okay.
You would understand that it is possible he may have come to an accommodation with his own beast in order to achieve that. Or his refusal to kill has allowed him to starve his beast of power over him. He's denied the beast what the beast wanted long enough that the beast is not strong as it should be anymore, which might feed into Kat's little bit of sense the beast she felt off it.
Mm-hmm.
That ring of his was interesting.
It looks antique.
It's older than he is. Or at least he isn't the original owner.
Mm.
And I got a little feedback from it after shaking his hand.
Mm.
Over the last century, I could since the sorrow of losing various hunters in his time. So despite the cold demeanor, he does have the capacity to feel loss.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'd go so far as caring,
Right.
but maybe to what capacity he is able to care. It seems to be there for his hunters.
Sunday, I have a question.
Sure.
I know you are part of the family now. What bloodline are you?
Doesn't matter.
Just curious. Your reactions were unique.
Well, I just didn't like him very much.
I mean, I understand.
Fair.
Eastern European men are an acquired taste. But
I don't know if... I feel like not wanting to be controlled isn't so unique to certain bloodlines. I feel like that might just be a trait some people have.
Lamia. Hey, Gwen.
I didn't know they were around still.
Well,
It's wonderful.
surprise.
Yes, Sunday.
It would make me really happy if you didn't learn a dang thing from him.
Good luck with that.
If you want to learn how to kill things, I know someone else.
Even if... Just because I learned from him doesn't mean I agreed to serve him, and he didn't seem disingenuous with that. My thought was that he's agreed to help us with the war, training your side as part of assisting with the war. Does that still concern you?
Yeah. But I can't stop you. You know what's best for you.
Sunday, you're a member of this coterie. Don't diminish your feelings.
Why don't you introduce
Please.
me to your idea, and we can go from there.
Well, I think that's mighty fair.
I can learn from Hideo anyway. Why don't you... Was there anything in particular that made you so... I guess let me rephrase this. Are you hesitant to have him work with us, period?
I realize that in this project, we need people with his particular skill set. And I know that his people sound really, really loyal. So it's kind of a package deal. I just think that it would make me happy if we were not personally a little bit socially indebted, you know?
I understand.
Okay. That was why I wanted to work out the details of how the relationship was and what was fair game versus require additional compensation. Understood. I can respect that.
There's always an exchange of power, Gwen. Doesn't matter if he says it or not.
It goes both ways, though. It is an exchange.
Sure.
So, Sunday?
Yeah.
May I ask what you do and what little free time we're allotted?
Sometimes I do community service sometimes.
Have you ever cooked?
Well, for like my family.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Would you like to come cook in my kitchen sometime? Just you and me?
You know what? Bo, I think I'd like that a lot.
You're invited anytime.
Well, thanks.
Learned our clan's abilities yet.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you learned necromancy?
No.
Would you like to?
Maybe. I don't want to step on any toes.
We're offering. When you're one of us.
We can discuss an opportunity to learn at least a little bit. There's always much to know about the dead.
I know there's a lot I don't know. I'm willing to learn whatever you want to teach.
Likewise. You will need to decide what to do next.
Time to get an army.
Well, it sounds like you need to find someone to draw a picture of your cousin.
I know I mostly deal with food, but I'm not half bad artist if you need me to.
Just all over good with your hands.
If you have a free time and a free hour or so, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Because, Rashad, we can totally make that one a target.
I would appreciate it.
Of course. Look,
See,
my brother, he's fucking around, but he's slippery. He always has been. He'll be harder to track.
We can't forget about our sewer problem either.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking one of my first things I'm going to do is take some of the troops through the unmonitored parts of the sewer to do a raid on a Sabbat holding. Because if they're using them, so can we.
When if you and I want to coordinate on how to use the trucks, surveillance, maybe we can get together and do that.
absolutely.
Especially now that I've got fun new ability.
That is
But also-
incredibly useful.
Especially at the casino.
I bet.
You
Oh,
cheater.
cheat.
Are using the gifts bestowed on me considered cheating? I would.
When you
Yes.
can see other people's cards, yes. Reading emotions versus reading cards.
Yes, it's cheating.
You say potato. I say money, 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 money.
It was not restricted in the rules. It is not cheating.
But I'm pretty sure it says don't look at your
Rashad, I
cards.
knew I liked you. You know, we don't hang out nearly enough, Rashad. If you want to come to the casino with me, you are more than welcome.
Is it not a rule to not look at people's cards? I thought that was a rule. I must be playing wrong.
I don't think it's expressly
No.
written.
Oh,
It's not.
I mean, I guess if you're going to cheat at a casino, you might as well bring your lawyer.
but we should probably introduce Sunday to people. Bring her around a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have to introduce you to Johnny. He's a load of fun.
Maybe we wait a little bit to take her to.
No. That's when Johnny's the one that coordinates that. So
Yeah.
it's on him. But she at least needs an introduction first. I recently did some work on him, so you know.
I was gonna say maybe Dre is the step before Johnny, but
It could be.
Dre is kind of his own
Yeah,
thing too.
he's a piece of work too. But
Oh gosh, no, because he'll take advantage of Sunday.
maybe.
Oh God, no. We're keeping Dre away from you.
Well,
Dre is a
Either way-
Ravnos. Another rare
If he-
thing.
if he tries anything, we just know we have each other's backs. And Sunday, that includes you.
Of course.
Oh, that's real sweet of you. Wouldn't know what to do if a man tried to take advantage of me.
I say it jokingly. He wouldn't actually do anything, but he would tease about doing things, and I'm sure that would still make you uncomfortable.
I'm just making a general comment on how we work as a coterie.
But Johnny's a Bruja. He is unaffiliated. He is.
Horned up for cat.
Oh, got a little not so secret admirer.
Literally.
I
You'll know what
actually
I
gave
mean
him
when you
more
meet him.
horns.
Like Vikings?
No, not quite. More like monsters from where the wild things are. But you know, it's he's interesting. I think you'll get a good laugh out of him.
Well, I'm happy to meet anybody you introduced me to. Kind of 50% liked him today.
Yeah, I know.
Did Sunday look like she recognized where the wild things are?
Not at all.
Okay.
Bo would have picked that up.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to do first? You want us to introduce you to, teach you?
No, you guys have done enough tonight. I was just kind of feeling lucky I found you.
I was not pleased that the rest of your group fell. But I am glad that you survived.
Well, thanks for that.
Of course. Well, my family should be getting home soon.
Oh, I need to make dinner, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Least I can do.
My daughter loves the pasta.
I can help.
If you'd like.
Would certainly use some help.
I'll help.
Well, good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
going to go up to Rashad just briefly and just pat the journal that I gave him and just give him a knowing look. Thank you. Have a good night.
There's no need for that.
As the coterie goes their separate ways, we're going to end season 4, episode 1 right here, everybody. Welcome to season 4. They met with the Shadow Lord,
Crazy.
gave him the bad news about an abomination. Sunday was quite interesting the way she related. And then they met Mirsha and his hunters. And they are his hunters, apparently. I don't think Sunday liked that very much, but we'll see. Maybe they'll get along eventually. Maybe they'll become the best of friends. Maybe. Probably not.
No, that's Gwen.
That's Gwen.
Gwen and Sunday and Gwen and Marsha, but not together.
And we'll see who Sunday decides to take Gwen to that can help train her. That'll be interesting. I've made a note for that next episode because I know who it is.
Mhm.
So I've made a note for that so we can see that next episode. And I'd like to thank my players and the viewers. Tonight, we're going to do season opening new player. Let's go 4 XP for tonight. Give you all some bonus XP because it's a brand new season. Welcome to the table, Jen.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what comes out of it. Please, everybody, join us on the Discord. The cast of this show comes from the Discord. All of our shows are cast directly from the Discord, even the guest players. So if you're on a Discord, you might get a chance to join us at one of these tables. We do casting calls from time to time. We even do invite people to be guests. Those generally, for this show at least, is not done through a normal casting call. But hey, there's other games that come up all the time. And I want to say flat out, Timber Brad can bite me because in Vampire V5, you're supposed to give about 2 XP in a session, and I gave double that. Don't call me stingy. That was a big bump for V5, let me tell you. You want to catch back episodes? Pop over to our YouTube. Not only the back episodes of Kansas City, but the back episodes of all of our stream. We've got, dear God, so much. We've got Changeling, which we're currently in a season 3 of that one. We've got back episodes of Mage with a new Mage Chronicle coming up after Changeling. We've got back episodes of Demon, Chicago Hidden City, Windy City. Dear God, we got so much content. It's fucking insane. I almost feel like I've spent my life doing this at this point, and it's only been 5.5 years. But it is what it is. If you want to check out our friends list, we've got some friends here, which reminds me I need to update this friends list this week so that I can add Jen's, where you can now actually find her some nights. I'll get that updated. But let me start off right over here. Mischievous Red, tell everybody what you got going on.
Hi, Hi. Yeah. I am streaming my own channel at Mischievous Red, where it's creative stuff, but life gets in the way. So I don't have a set schedule right now. But if you join the Discord, you can see when I go live.
Yeah, fuck life. It's a bitch, ain't it? Always gets in the way of fun stuff. You know, like snow coming down, and I can't even make a good snowman out of it. Had to make little baby snowmen.
Everybody made snowmen here in Texas.
Yeah, ours snow wasn't good enough. I had to make 2 little baby snowmen. Me and my daughter.
We got like 8 inches.
We did too, but it was powdery. Couldn't do shit with it. Ree, down here, re-rolls. Rashad, what you got going on?
But let's see. We are taking the month of January off from streaming, but we will be next week with a new project I'm super excited about. So you should start hearing more about that in a week or so.
Cool. You know, the life of a streamer, you're always either in the middle of content or you're coming up with a new project for the next one. It always keeps you busy. I know House hasn't got anything going on, but Jen down there, what you got going on that you can tell people about? And you can put the link in chat.
We have a werewolf game currently on Sundays, and I am about to start an Everyday Heroes Ghostbusters game.
Tell me what you think of Everyday Heroes, because we were contacted by the developer of that, the publisher of it, offering to give the studio a copy of it so that we could stream it. And I want to know what your feelings are, because at some point we may be doing that. I told him we didn't have room on the schedule right now, but to get back with me in a few months, once we have a little openings, because we're kind of packed right now and don't have time to run a new game yet. So, and there it is. You can see right there, DM Daddy RPG right there in chat. Pop over, check Jen out on Sundays. Check that out. And you can also catch Ravnos Archon. You'll find him pretty much in every Wednesday night stream.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. In every Wednesday night stream.
So is Mama.
So, yeah. You can also find him as our mage storyteller, and he's in the 7C games on Saturday right now.
Yes, he is.
So you want to check that out?
And occasionally he guests here as Rorik or Cozy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting next time we have him on as a guest, because, you know, I think Kat has some things to say to him, like, you done fucked up, or your friend's done fucked up, because Abomination.
Fucked up. Yeah.
Yep.
Run, boy, run.
Yep.
Why you can.
And of course, Junie Von Esch, you'll find her as our Saturday storyteller for Chicago Hidden City. She also storytold our werewolf game for Queen's Gambit. She does Stitch and Bitch over on her channel, so check her out. Again, if you're on our Discord, you get to find out when people go live, because we have them there, so it announces. That way you can tell when they're live. Makes it nice and easy. If you want to get some studio merch, pop over to our merch store. Make sure you sign in, because if you want Camp Wish a Motherfucking Wood Camp Counselor t-shirts, because it's got the word fuck in it, guess what? You got to be signed in to see it, because you got to be an adult. I don't know why. But they don't restrict Red Rockets for Gaia, which I think is even a little more perverted than that. Let me tell you. Just saying.
It's because I put a cuss word on it.
Yeah. And then no adults here, no cowards here either. Remember that. No cowards here.
No, we're adultish. Sometimes we need an adult.
I ain't found one around here yet, though, unfortunately. Friends, merch. Bits and donations. Bits and donations that go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way for you to give to the players, for their time, effort, and, you know, putting up with my shit. People deserve bits and donations, and Mama deserves a coffee just for putting up with my shit.
I really do.
Yeah. You know, at least the players get to leave afterwards, and Mama's stuck with me.
I'm stuck.
Yep.
By choice, but I'm stuck.
But she's stuck. Support the studio. You can get a coffee. You can subscribe here on Twitch, which, you know, gets rid of the ads, which is fucking nice. If you got Prime, you can do it with Prime, and then it don't cost you anything. And you can also go to our YouTube channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, subscribe to the channel. Drives up our engagement.
And that's free. It just costs you a little bit of time.
Costs you a little time. The algorithm is a bitch, and it sucks especially for TTRPG related things.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't like to share it, because we don't do clickbait headlines.
Yeah.
We just do episode names, but hey, it is what it is. You know, anything that helps. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife, because, hey, guess what? We've got games this week.
Yeah, we do. Holy shit, y'all. More than I announced on Wednesday, because, you know, I only go a week out. Literally. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Coming up, we've got tomorrow 2 games. We got at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tiss is back with her rowdy bunch of pirates in 7th Sea as they start really kicking off their adventure. So yeah, this is a mini series. They've been, they've broken out of the gaol and started to set sail and move towards the treasure. So we'll see what they do.
I'll name an NPC after anyone who throws Timberbrad's character off the ship.
Einar.
Just saying.
He's a big boy.
If you throw his character overboard, I will name an NPC after you.
Arr. He's a big strapping Viking.
Throw him overboard. Make him walk the plank.
Okay, so that's at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, join us for our Hidden City Chronicle, which is set in Chicago. It is Vampire the Masquerade V5, set in 2010. We were started with the Prince Peterson, and he got booted. And now Kevin Jackson is running the show, and we've just started that season up as of this past Saturday. So we are now... Oh, actually not season, it's act, because we're doing a 30-session season, but it's split up into acts. Yeah, I know. It's a little nuts, but hey, it's a lot of content.
17 straight for Queen's Gambit was a bit much.
Yeah. We did 14 for the first act, and now for the second act of season 1, we're going to do 8, and then we'll do 8 for the third act. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern as we continue our second act, and it's about to be a bit of a showdown in Joliet because, when we're left off, the gardener of the group, the Bahari in the group, she got kidnapped. Yeah. Crazy. So we'll see where we pick up with that.
Wait, kidnapping, and it wasn't the character that Red is playing?
No, it's
what
the hell I'm playing.
What the hell? It's supposed to kidnap all Red's characters. She's not even in the game. Should have kidnapped somebody named Gwen.
We're against the Church of Cain, and guess what they do to Bahari? Capture them, interrogate them, torture them, and destroy them. Yay! So that's where we're picking up tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Wednesday, we are back with Changeling the Dreaming Stained Glass at 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, things are picking up already. It's already, we only one session in and it's already intense. It's already intense. Poor Red's character, that poor baby sister. Oh, Lord. Intense. My poor Aishu's like, holy shit, that's banal. Yeah. So let's see where we go after that. And then, of course, on Thursday, brand new stream coming. Timberbrad is running Delta Green, 8 p.m. Eastern. You'll see Red in that too. Yeah.
She's in it with Urani.
Yeah.
And Glaciate. Wow.
And Glaciate.
I don't know.
Run by Brad.
Yeah, I don't know if Brad knows what he got himself into with that crew.
Oh, Lordy. Well, we got at least 2 suffer puppets in it. How many characters did he tell you to come with?
At least 2 for 3 episodes.
For 3 episodes.
Are you sure you're not playing Zas or Kala or Paranoia?
Know, right?
Y'all are going to love my character.
I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, we'll be back here Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern for the second session of Season 4 of Kansas City: A Domain Divided.
Yeah, we're starting this season off with some fucky-wucky, as Ravnos called it earlier. But at least it wasn't the worm Kia, okay? We didn't have a worm Kia. No worm-infested IKEAs around here. You're okay. Because that's a Ravinia thing. She likes those.
Oh, my God. As soon as IKEA got mentioned, I'm like, fuck, flashbacks.
Yep.
It was our SCP fucking werewolf.
Yeah, it was funny as fuck. And, of course, as always, everybody, when we end a stream, mental health, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. I want you to take your mental health seriously and the mental health of others seriously. Please check in on people around you. Make sure they're okay. A lot of people are not okay, especially in the winter months. And they just need somebody to reach out to them, that kind voice, that friendly person to be the lifeline they need. And if you suffer from mental health issues, I want to tell you, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting you need help once in a while, because we all do. And I'd like you to reach out to your support network. But I do understand that it can be difficult to do that for a lot of people, because there's a stigma attached with mental health that shouldn't be there, but it is. And I'd be a fool not to acknowledge it. So if you can't reach out to your own support network, or if you're in crisis, in chat, there's a list of numbers. You can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line to help you out. Mental health is health, everybody. And if you're not in the U.S., you can go to findahelpline.com, put in your country of origin, and find out the support lines for your country. Because look, as much as U.S. seems to think they're the only country out there, we're fucking not. There's other countries out there, and they're just as fucking important. I want you to get your help too. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro as she rains fire and brimstone down.
Well, first, I'm going to tell you, make sure you're not only taking care of yourselves mentally, but you're also doing so physically. Get your vaccines if you haven't already. Literally, COVID is still a thing. It'll be a thing for fucking ever, because it's a virus, and we haven't found a cure for any viruses, okay? So please get your vaccines. It's still flu season. Get your fucking flu shot, for real. Get both, for real. Just get it done. You'll feel like hammered hell for a day or so, and then you'll bounce back. It'll be fine. So get that done. And because I'm not sure after the 20th how long you'll be able to do so. Okay? For real. And herd immunity is important. It's how we basically pretty much got rid of things like polio. Okay? And that's probably going to make a big comeback if they do what they plan to do. And that's bad. Real bad. So, yeah. And make sure you're taking your meds, drinking your water, getting some sunshine when you can. I know winter storms are a bitch. Go play in the snow. Find yourself some joy where you can, because looking around the world around us, it's in short fucking supply. And also, if you are dealing with the wildfires, please know our hearts go out to you. We hope you are safe. It is absolutely devastating, I'm aware. But please, your safety is paramount.
Property can be rebuilt, can be bulldozed under if it
and
burned
I
into something.
understand there are certain things that can't be replaced, but your life is far more valuable.
Your life is a lot harder to replace than things.
Yeah. So please follow the evacuation instructions that you are given. Look out for your own safety, please. And for the safety of my community here at McStabber Studios, I'm going to say, if you contributed to the convicted felon who is going to become president that got no fucking punishment whatsoever today, because of course he didn't.
And still fought to not even get no punishment.
I know, because he's a fucking moron. But anyway, if you voted for that, or you did a protest third-party vote, or you abstained when you could have voted in the U.S., see yourselves out. Don't come back. You are not just unwanted. You are not tolerated in my community. Said with all sincerity. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. We will see you next stream.